So, hi, Only Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
Jacob from Thornhill. Hi.
and we're gonna have some questions to say about the new album Bodies. So, congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Really sick, honestly. This was so hard to pick, but I think we've been very lucky, and this American tour has really shown us how it's been going. You never know how it really is until you start playing it live. So the response has been crazy.
Hell yeah,
Damn straight.
the album fucking rips.
It is
Really?
insane. Immediately added to my master playlist. You guys fucking crushed it.
Oh, let's go. Thank
Yeah,
you so much. That's
hell
so
yeah.
sweet.
And
Damn
I
straight.
did get to see the tour in Jersey a couple weeks ago, and it was great to see the
A
crowd
rough
go.
one.
Dude, I mean, I thought the crowd was into it.
You came to the worst show of tour.
What makes you
Oh
say
my
that?
god.
There was a lot of things that make me say that. Nah, it was fine, but the crowd was a bit sleepy. But that's all right. I feel like every time we play in New Jersey, it's a bit. I think. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what. It was a weekday, so I do get it. I do understand.
That's fair. Everyone
But
just got off of work.
Yeah, Friday
yeah, yeah,
Friday night
exactly.
coming from work was tough, but it was a great time.
Yeah,
I had a great time
100%.
nonetheless. So,
There
No,
you
it was
go.
a good show.
yeah,
It was a good show.
hell yeah.
I'm just saying, Virginia wouldn't do that to you guys. I'm so
No
upset the tour
chance.
didn't hit anywhere near me, but I was supporting from afar, you know?
No, I appreciate that. It's
Yeah.
so hard. I feel we talked about this at the VIP the other day. Unless we're getting like promoters and booking people wanting us there, we don't really get to experience those places as much.
Yeah,
But
completely
we've
fair.
been lucky to hit 26 places that I never thought we'd be able to headline, so it's been pretty cool.
Yeah,
Damn
hell yeah.
straight. Hell yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, I think they all kind of correlate together, and we like the cover and the song album, sorry, like the album title to kind of reflect what each song is about. And I feel like the way that we like to do is that the title of the album could be the title of each song, and it could like work and explain itself, but all in different ways. And we really like the album cover to kind of have the ambient mood. Like I feel like a cover is really important when you're interpreting songs
Mhm.
or like, with your ears. I think it's a very different thing to seeing like a music video visually.
Mhm.
And it kind of provides that as a still image.
Mhm.
And it was the first time we've actually, well, maybe not the first time, but the first time in a while that we've actually worked with someone from the start and created a piece of art that we're really excited about. So it's been very cool.
That's
That's awesome. Hell
wonderful.
yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the writing process for the album?
We did it all in our drummer's lounge room while his parents were on holiday to Europe.
Okay.
Dope.
Um, yeah, so a lot of hanging out together, a lot of coffee. We kind of had two rooms, so we had like the lounge room set up with Sammy, who was our producer. He's the drummer of Ocean Grove. And the first time we worked with him was when we were like 20, and we
Mhm.
did Temper and Limbo, those singles. So we actually haven't really worked with a producer since then. So it's pretty cool to come back and have a really good friend as part of the process. Yeah, we had the lounge room set up, and then me and our bassist Cage would go upstairs and record the vocals of the tracks we were just working on in the other room. So we'd have like this whole kind of system, and it was a lot of fun. Probably the best experience we've had writing, and I think we really needed that up to heroin.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So you guys were basically writing and then recording the songs kind of as you were going?
Yeah, I'd say so. But like we always have, a year or so of random ideas and like demos throughout that we kind of work on. So I think we went in with 15 or so demos and just kind of worked them out, expanded or deleted as we went.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Makes
Makes
sense.
sense. All right. So what song off the album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
I would say Revolver maybe took the longest. I think that was one of the demos we had straight out of the Dark Pool. No, yeah, straight after the Dark Pool. So just before Heroin, it was a demo from then, and it was really just like a breakdown. So that song probably that we were changing that song until it was due, the day of kind of thing. So we were tearing that apart for a long time to get it where it was. But I'd say my favorite song is Nerve. It's my favorite song to play live. I think it's all of our
Hmm.
favorite song to play live, but there's just some magic on that song that I think we all feel. So definitely that song.
Good pick. That is also my personal favorite. Mm.
Hey, let's go. Good
Hell yeah.
Damn
taste.
straight. Yeah, right?
How'd the track list for your album come about? Did you guys write the opener for the opener, close be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
I think we're always very meticulous with that process. Because we really like a track list to make sense as a story. You know, it's almost like a movie plot. We really enjoy there to be an open middle and end to a story. I think Diesel was always going to be the opener, um, but we didn't have a closer for a while.
Mhm.
Um, but we always had like the middle section of tongues, like the interlude. So we had the start and the middle pretty much planned out from the start, I would say. Um, because we just wanted to start this album with kind of with power, and with energy. And I feel like the last couple of records from us kind of started with ambience and were slow. And like, although we liked that, we wanted something kind of different for this one.
Mhm.
So we didn't really want a massive sample. We didn't really want anything crazy. We just wanted to go into like some of the heaviest riffs we've made in a long time and kind of surprise people with the energy. But the end kind of came later because I think we got to, the 3 quarter mark of the process and we were missing the ambience, we were missing the synths, we were missing I don't know, I guess something that we normally would do because we were so focused on doing heavy music that we enjoyed and we ended up getting a bit burnt out from it. So I think we
Mm.
started, focusing more on Under the Knife and For Now. And I think that just eventually became the end. And we were like, okay, well, we know what we're going to do different next time. But I think we got there in the end.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
damn straight. All right. And would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
Well, we were touring. We haven't really stopped touring probably since the last time I talked to you guys. It's just
Solid.
been kind of us, yeah, probably. It's been us getting used to the life that we have now because I think we're at that point now where we're full-time musicians, full-time band, but we don't at all even closely have a full-time wage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So we're like just teetering the edge where we're giving full-time hours, but it's just, I mean, it's life. A band doesn't make what a band would make. And we're not at the size where that would change. And that's part of the battle. It's been a battle for the last 10 years of doing this. But I think there was a little bit of dread and a little bit of us just being burnt out by doing this full time, and still trying to balance it with our lives at home. You come home. I've been explaining it recently as I don't know if you guys have seen Severance, but like I feel like tour is my innie and I at home is my outie, and they're
Yeah.
just so different because it is so different. So there's a lot of us trying to work out who we are and what we do and why we do what we do, but I think it's been very good that our band, especially as 4 boys, have become pretty good at our communication and
Mhm.
how we are feeling and having like your own little support group, I guess, has also helped. So there's just been a lot of not a lot of time off. So I think after this tour, we're all having a little bit of a break because
Good.
we didn't really get a Christmas break
Oh my
because of this
goodness.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well, well deserved. Mm.
absolutely. I'm curious if you guys like approach this record any differently, considering, like you mentioned, you've basically been nonstop touring since the last time we spoke, which was about the last record a few years ago. So was it the same approach, different approach?
I would say different approach. It had to be a different approach. Heroin was probably the worst writing process we've ever experienced. And that was
Okay.
for so many factors that I'm sure we talked about.
Mm.
But this one was the mindset of let's just have fun. Let's just enjoy music again and like try and write something that we want to listen to. I mean, we always talk about that as a musician, you're your first listener, and if you don't like and believe what you're doing, then nobody else is going to.
Yep.
So we kind of just went in with a bit more of that mindset, but we knew we wanted pace. We knew we wanted more action, and just a few more moments that we haven't had in a while. And I think we were a little bit sick of being the lighter band on a heavy build now that we are a heavy band. So I think, yeah, it was just trying to fall in love with heavy music again. And we find that a little difficult. So we were just trying to bring in some elements, um, just like a lot of different influences we've had. We wanted to kind of give the heavy music we were writing in our head a little refresher from what we're used to hearing and writing. And I think a lot of the R&B kind of influence we've had has started to make its way into some of the grooves. So I think
Mhm.
that was a cool experience to kind of figure out together, I would say. So just, yeah, trusting your gut. First idea is a lot of the time the best idea, but yeah, just involving as many people around us as possible because we're a very self-contained band.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Wonderful.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should you do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is work at album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I guess it just depends on how you like to listen to music, you know. Everyone's got a different way to kind of feel it, but I would say coming to a show is probably the best way to feel it. I think this album was written for the stage. And I think if we're playing good, that's probably the best way to do it.
All right.
Um, yeah, but then hey, who knows? Party record would be cool too.
Party record with fuck. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah.
All right.
Mm.
And this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Hard is probably a good one.
Yeah.
Honest,
Okay.
emotional.
Damn straight.
Those are
Yeah.
good. Hell yeah. And in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
Maybe just an open mind. I think this is the first time we've felt like the music we've written has kind of hit a sweet spot in our taste and in our like feelings of music. And I think this is the first time we wanted to build upon a sound that we have personally created. So I think
Mm.
if you like this, you're gonna like where we're gonna go from here, hopefully. So
Damn
an open mind for
straight.
sure.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Looking forward to it. And are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the album, positive or negative?
I guess time is always a challenge. I feel like having like, you know, giving a musician or any other sort of artist like a border or a deadline is always, you know, the worst part of the process. I think yeah, we took too long like we normally do, and I think we ended up having no time to mix it properly. And poor Sammy, we had him in the room out loud, and we were all yelling mix changes with him the night before it was due, like
Damn.
out loud. There's like 4 of us behind him, and we were like, turn this down, turn this up, this kick like EQ needs to do this. So
No.
yeah, yeah. So I think having a bit more time in the process for that would be sick because he did such a good job. And I still think it's the best we've sounded. So, you know, I mean, we'll probably never hit a deadline properly, but hey, that's what we're all aiming for, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it was just like a good moment for us as a band, and I think we're just very, very stoked on every part of the process. We're very thankful for the people around us.
Hmm.
They did such a good job at like doing all the visual aspects and all like the logos and stuff like that. So very just like happy to have a really amazing team around us now.
Damn straight. So you mentioned you guys were changing mixes and everything up until the deadline. So curious on the timeline for this record when you guys kind of started working on it and then when you guys finally wrapped it up and had the masters in hand.
I don't even know. I remember starting this. I feel like I started this record last year, like start of last year. We were writing a bit on the North Lane tour that we just did in what was that, October, November, or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, so it's just been, I think you do an album and then you just start writing from then until whatever time. You normally have like a 2 year or a year and a half kind of window, but I do remember it was due at like 1 a.m. or something, and we were still at Sammy's out
That's
loud
crazy.
giving him mixed revisions and recording things at like
Yeah.
12:30 or something. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
we would have submitted it still probably late. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure
Mhm.
actually that I'm pretty sure that we actually were on tour in Europe giving him mix notes after it was already due. And that would have been, I think the vinyls have a different mix because we were so late.
No.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I can't remember how it went down. It was bad though. I remember that.
That's actually insane. So to you, like deadlines are more of kind of like a suggestion rather than an actual like end date.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's why they hate us. That's why management hate us. And I get
Yeah.
it. I definitely get it.
No, it's fair.
that's great.
It's crazy work.
Um, we
And it's
definitely
funny because our management is our band, so you're
even
just
Yeah.
kind
better.
of fighting each
Self-hate.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
self-hatred.
Exactly.
We definitely asked you this question last time, but since you're on tour now in the United States, gotta ask, what's been your go-to snack when you guys are stopping at a gas station or a rest stop?
Well, last night we got a Cinnabon. I'm not gonna
Ooh.
lie. Everybody else got Taco Bell, but I was like, I don't think I can do that at 3 a.m. right now.
But that's the prime
So let me
time.
do more calories in.
Say.
Yeah, I know, I know,
More
I know.
calories, smaller package. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Our go-to snack a lot of the time would be Cinnamon Toast Crunch or French Toast Crunch
Hmm.
because they are goated.
Hmm.
Um, what else do we like? We love the chocolate or Nutella filled Uncrustables.
Ooh, fucks. Yeah,
We
that's good.
love, yeah, it fucks so hard. And
Crazy.
the trick is you gotta put them in the freezer, but then you put them in your pocket for a while,
Oh, so
and
they
then you
get
eat
kind of
them
like
while it's like,
gooey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
but they're
yeah.
still cold, you know? Like there's a sweet spot.
Exactly. Yeah, damn straight, damn straight. And for these last couple questions, we're actually gonna shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Hmm.
Cool. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
I feel like my girlfriend and I have done this before.
It's a very important
Because I know
question.
she'd choose like a dire wolf, like I already know what she'd do.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I think I would say an owl.
Ooh, okay, an owl. Wise
Owls are an
type shit.
underrated beast.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, they're nocturnal too. They have incredible eyesight, incredible hearing, like fucking basically a 360 neck,
Hmm.
and they're still a predator, and they don't really have any predators of their own, I don't think. I don't fact check that. And they have crazy talons, and they look cool as fuck. So
Can't ask for more. Yeah,
Fuck
that's
yeah.
fair.
Hell
That's
yeah.
fair.
yeah.
So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
It'd be two. It'd be Jeff Buckley, I think.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I'd enjoy conversation with him. He just seems interesting. Maybe that'd be. Hmm.
Actually,
I'd
I don't
even
know if I would fuck with
say,
him.
yeah, actually, I don't know if
That's
I
so
fuck with
fun.
his vibe, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe Damien Albarn, I think, Albarn or whatever his name is, the singer of the Gorillaz.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha, gotcha.
He's a super, super sick dude.
Hmm.
Um, so I'd actually say, I'd say him. He's a very cool dude. I'd love to pick his brain about almost every decision he's made in his life.
Hell yeah, yeah. It's a quick conversation, right? It's a quick little lunch talk. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
100%. Over wine for sure.
oh, for sure, for sure. Something light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for this last question, boom,
No,
you're on a
something
deserted
local.
island. You could bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
I'm bringing my wife, actually,
There you go. Yeah.
and for her sake, I'd say the movie would be A Knight's Tale
Oh, okay.
because I know she loves that movie, and I could watch that a lot. You know, it's a good movie.
Mhm.
One album,
Mhm.
I would say In Rainbows by Radiohead.
Ooh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Shout out Radiohead.
Yeah. Hell
Good
yeah.
picks.
Yeah,
So
let's go.
as Gloria said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Maybe Vicious, just because I released a single um as like my solo stuff.
Mhm.
So if anyone likes pop or R&B, it's on Spotify.
Damn
yeah.
straight, hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been Jacob from Thornhill, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.